How are you this morning?
Good day. How are you?
Doing real well too. Thank you.
Good.
You have a good evening? Or did you work all evening?
What's that?
I said, did you have a good evening or did you work all evening?
I worked part of the evening and then I finished my pillow.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have a pillow to stuff in there? I usually never have a 16-inch pillow, but I did find one. So.
Well, when my mom passed, she had all these Christmas pillows in that, so I saved all them. I just got to go downstairs and get it. That's all.
Oh, all right, that's not so bad.
Yeah, no.
Hi, Helen. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. And Sarah, good morning to you too.
Good morning.
Let me see who else. Barb Dady is connecting. There's Barb. Good morning to you. Did you get your pillow stuffed? You're still connecting. I got to keep watching. So, my little,
There we are.
There we go. Can I do that? Nope, that's too big. Okay, X out of that big one. Okay, and go down to here. And, okay, I'll make it small. There we go. I guess we're stuck with the small screen today. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's, and Beth. Good morning, Beth.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm eating my bar for breakfast here. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
That's
Well,
what I'm chewing.
Yeah, you have to have your nourishment because you can't concentrate if you're hungry. That's what I found.
I know. I just got back from a walk. I wanted to go out before it possibly is going to rain. Yeah.
Or those dire predictions again.
It's raining here on Grand Island right now.
Oh,
It's raining. It's raining in Kenmore too.
Oh, okay.
Not in Clarence. Yeah.
No, not yet.
It's a nice rain.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. Let's get the rain in, and except for my husband was supposed to go down to the air show today thing that they're still doing the practicing, and I'm just hoping that it clears out by then because Tom, our technician, was down with Jim at Buff State yesterday working on machines, and evidently the practicing they were doing was flying right over where they were, and Tom said it just gives him goosebumps. He said it was so amazing. So
Yeah, we could see them. We could see them here too.
Oh, you could see them right from your home?
Yeah, where I was yesterday afternoon, I was sewing with a couple of girlfriends at our community center, and it's towards the west end of the island. And they say they're so loud.
They're very loud, but so amazing to see. So
yeah.
My daughter works at Phillips Lytle downtown across from the Buffalo News, and she said it was amazing.
Yeah.
She said their one attorney was right at the corner and he could look out and see the whole thing. So he told everybody they were welcome to come in with a $10 admission.
Wow.
You know, those attorneys, they always have to get there.
Yeah.
They're billable hours, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess Walinda had called them and asked them to fly over while he was over at Duville.
Yeah.
And I guess he came about 3:30, which was when he was supposed to walk, but I guess some people talked too long and he didn't take off at the given time, but they flew over, but
they did.
He wasn't out walking.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was better for not to have the distraction anyway.
Oh, he thought it would be great. You know,
Yeah.
He was like, oh, this is great.
That he scares the heck out of me, I'll tell you.
Yeah, there's something wrong with people like that.
Yeah, it's like unbelievable.
I know, but you can't not watch
No.
Cannot watch exactly. But it's amazing, but still scares me.
Well, in New York State, he has to wear that lifeline. If you notice behind him, there's a cord with like a little trolley that goes along, and it's a lifeline if you were to fall.
Yeah. That helps. That does help when you're watching that, to know that he's not plunging to his death. It's one of those morbid curiosity things that
True.
I prefer not to see. Thank you very much. So,
Diane, could you look for Sue Fuller? She's waiting to get in.
is she? I keep looking and I don't see her in the waiting room. But, okay, got her. There we go. Thank you, Sue. Hi, Sue. Thank you for waiting. And thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Well, she texted me.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah,
we watch out for each other.
Yeah, well, the one computer is slightly acting up, and usually I have this great big long list of people in the meeting and people waiting to get in, but somehow today it shrunk to about that big. But there she is now. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing this morning?
All right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to show off their block from last month? Anybody have it with you that completed it that wants to show it?
I'd show it if I'd completed it, Diane.
Oh.
I showed some of the girls yesterday, but I took the block and made it a little smaller and got a COVID print and put it in the middle for our guild's COVID block.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I think that's very cool.
That's cool fabric.
That's that spoon flower. You can go on the online, and somebody already had made this. It wasn't something I made. I just was looking for something that had an image that looked like a COVID virus, and they had, believe it or not, they had it.
Oh.
Yeah. They have some really, really cool stuff.
You can get little 8-inch squares. You don't have to buy like a yard of this stuff. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then just cut it down to what I needed.
Perfect. Very good. Anybody else?
I have mine.
Oh,
Nice. Beautiful.
that is gorgeous.
Came out nice.
It sure did.
This is the one from last month. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Oh, Barb, your fabric is beautiful.
Yeah, hold it
One
up
of
again,
those-
Barb. You gotta talk.
Hi there. No, mine doesn't work. Mine
That
doesn't
does.
work on the big screen.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Is there a trick?
It's working when you talk.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Oh,
That's
very
it.
nice.
I did
Very,
this
very
on
good.
retreat. I took a bunch of different fabrics and played around with some blocks, and this was one of them.
Well, it worked. Very,
Yeah.
very cool. It is fun to play with the fabric sometimes and see what will happen when you put them together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's not what you expect.
Right.
And so that's fun. So super. I've got one other person.
Was Turtle Rock nice?
Was very nice.
That's
We
it.
had a good time. We were there for 4 days. All we did was eat, chat. Some of the girls had some wine. I didn't. And so I got a whole
You're
quilt top.
allergic.
I got a whole quilt top done. I did a small bag that I brought along, a few blocks that I did, and a lot of talking
And
That was
laughing.
fun.
and laughing.
And laughing.
It
You got a
felt
lot
very-
done.
It felt very, very good to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just no other outside pressures. It's
Nope.
just it's just so fantastic. If you've never done it, you really should do it at least one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a whole nother world of of nothing
Yeah.
but fun and laughter.
Fun, friends, and sewing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That Turtle Rock is a nice place too because it's run by Candace, who is a quilter.
Yes.
She does long arm quilting, and so it really just plays. She's got the design walls and the cutting table and the ironing boards and all this stuff. So it's all set up for, us quilters.
Yeah, but it's cozy too.
Yeah.
Where's it located, Barb?
It's along the lake.
In Angola on the lake.
Angola
Oh,
on the lake. Yeah. And actually, it's not on the lake. It's one street over from the lake. So when you get up in the morning, you look out at the lake.
Oh, nice.
It's really quite nice.
Does she do it all different times, Barb, or just one time a year?
She doesn't do it. You have to really kind of organize it. She rents the place.
Oh, okay.
If you go to her website, you can actually check out when she has openings. We organized it. There were 4 of us all together, quilters from the guild, and we just got together, and it was just fun. I've done it a couple times with these same girls, but it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we do it twice a year with our group, and
Yeah.
of course not this past year and a half, but
Yeah. Well,
we had such a good time. We look forward to it.
Very nice.
And it probably this time even meant even more after
Yeah,
not being able
definitely.
to do it. So very, very cool.
The first retreat I ever went on was run up in Rochester by Barb from Mount Pleasant, and that was like the premium thing. You walked in with your sewing machine. She had the room set up for you. You had all your meals were there. You could go swimming. It was in a hotel, so it was like top notch. You didn't have to do a thing except for sew and eat. I mean, literally. So it was great. But they're all fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we did it for, what did we figure, 15 years.
Down at Chautauqua.
Yeah, we did Chautauqua, and then when that kind of just petered out because they couldn't get enough condominiums, we did, I think we went 2 years to Silver Lake and 1 year to Lime Lake, and then we went to, where is it, outside Cary. Can't think of the name of it, but that was also set up by just for quilters type of thing, and they had the long, very sturdy quilting tables and a separate room for cutting and pressing, which was next door, and each person had their own room, and they were single beds in the room, and every one of them had a quilt on it, and it just a fun time with people. And again, you eat and you sew and you laugh, and it's just a great experience. Just walking into a different world for 4 or 5 days, whenever you're lucky enough to be able to go. So it's been fun. So if you ever get a chance to go on one, you take advantage of it at least one time, because it is an experience. So, anybody else got anything to show? Okay, if you don't, we can talk about today's block. And today's block is out of the same book. It's Volume 8, Issue 1, 2021. The front of the book looks like this. Okay, and this one, the one that we're doing today, is the pre-write-up is on page 81, but the actual instructions start on page 82 and 83 and go. And it's called The Snowball Star. And the block looks like this.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's one of the blocks. There's 2 blocks. There's block A and block B. They are both made out of the same pattern, but the placement of the fabrics gives you 2 completely different looks. Okay, so if you have the book and you're looking at the quilt on page 82, you can see that some of the blocks look like they have a star in them, which is the one I just showed you. And then the alternate blocks look almost like a 4-patch that you don't see when you kind of look at the star, because it depends upon the color placement. So I did block A already so that you could see what it looked like. And today I'll be constructing block B, again, which is done the same way, only just a different placement of your fabric colors. Okay, so if you're taking notes, okay, I will give you what you're going to need for block A, and then I'll tell you what you need for block B if you want to do both of them. If you just want to do the one, just pick the one you want to do and you can do that. Okay? So, really nice thing that I found about this is that almost all your cuttings are 2.5 inches. So, what I was doing anyway, because we've gone down, we've got quite a collection now of fabrics, and some of the fabrics I still had a decent piece of fabric left, so I left them, but some of them that I cut up for the block and there was something left over and they were smaller pieces, I just cut them all down into 2.5-inch strips. And so I had a lot of 2.5-inch strips cut already, and these don't take very large pieces. So I was able to play with the fabrics and the colors in there. But if you don't, you're going to be cutting your fabrics, other than the background fabrics. All the other fabrics come from 2.5-inch strips. Okay, so if you have a jelly roll, you can do it from a jelly roll. If you're playing with colors or your leftover colors, or just take the fabrics like I did that you already have, and each one, you don't need a lot of each one, so you can start cutting some of those up. Okay, so block A, okay, you need dark and light strips. Okay, so go through yours, find the darkest ones that you have and the lightest ones that you have.
This is in the book, right?
This is in the book, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, and you can see this is made up of darks and lights besides the background. Okay, so out of that, out of your darks and your lights, I would say you need, for each one, between the darks and the lights, for the darks, you need at least 4 different fabrics, and anywhere between 4 and 8 different fabrics. So 4, and I know in the book they talk about 5, 6, 7, or 8. Any one of those will work. Okay, on this one, and I think I can switch the camera for now so that you can have to keep holding it up. Okay, on this one, I believe I actually have 6 darks. Okay, because this one and this one are the same fabric, and this one and that one are the same fabric, and then there's one of this, one of that, one of that, and one of that. Okay, so anywhere between 4 and 8 dark fabrics, and the same thing for the light, anywhere between 4 and 8 light fabrics. Okay, and the lights, I think I repeated 2 of them. These 2, here maybe. Oh, okay, and these 2 are the same, although they're in different positions, and then these 2 were different, and those 2 were different. Okay, so you got your darks and your lights, and then after I had my piles of my darks and my lights, okay, then you're going to start cutting them into smaller pieces. Out of the lights, you're going to need 4 pieces that are 4 inches long.
2.5 by 4 inches.
2.5 by 4 inches, correct. And then also out of the light fabrics, you're going to need 4 pieces that are 6 inches long. So they would be 2.5 by 6. Out of the darks, you're going to need 4 pieces that are 6 inches long. And 4 pieces that are 8 inches long. Okay, we good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're also going to need, out of your background fabric, you're going to need 4 4-inch squares. And 8 2.5-inch squares. And that's what you need for one A block. For the B block, okay, that's going to be the alternate block. Okay, instead of working with dark and light, you're going to work with medium dark and medium light. Okay, so they talk about in there that if you have a jelly roll that divided into light, medium, dark, and dark for your 2 blocks, if you're going to use that to make a quilt. So these are going to be, your darks are going to be not quite as dark as the darks in this block, and your lights are going to be not quite as light as the lights in this block. Sometimes it's a little difficult to distinguish. Okay, so I just played by picking out all my darks and lights first and then auditioning the other fabric next to them. Okay, and if I thought it was dark but it wasn't quite as dark as some of the ones in here, then that was my medium dark. Okay, and this one, it was still pretty dark, but it wasn't quite as dark as the darks that are in here. Okay, so that was your medium dark, and then your medium light, the same thing. I had a couple light ones that, to me, you know, they had quite a bit of white in them, but they weren't quite as light as the very lightest ones. Okay. Okay, so for B block, you're going to have your medium dark and your medium light. Okay, and in the A block, where the lighter of the 2 fabrics, where your smaller strips, you're going to start out with that. This one, the darker fabrics are going to be your smaller ones. So out of the medium dark, you need 4 4-inch pieces. And 4 6-inch pieces. Okay, and then out of the medium light, you need 4 6-inch pieces. And 4 8-inch pieces. Okay, and then out of the background, you're going to need the same thing as for the A block. You need 4 4-inch squares. And 8 2.5-inch squares. If you turn to page 85 in your book, you can see these 2 blocks right here. They're in the middle of page 85. And you can see what the blocks look like in their depiction. And if you dissect it, okay, they're the same block. Okay, just different colors in different places. And you can see how different those 2 look. Okay, so we're going to construct the B block.
The one on the right?
Pardon me?
The B block is the one on the right in that picture?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
the one that says 4D. That's the B block.
Okay.
Okay? And what I did was, just to save some time, each one of the large blocks, like this, is made up of 4 smaller blocks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I constructed 2 of them already. Okay, just so that you didn't have to watch me do 4 over and over and over again. So I've got 2 left to construct. And so I'll show you how we're going to lay them out. First of all, you're going to take your 2.5-inch squares, and using your marking pen or pencil or whatever you have, you're going to draw a diagonal line on each one. Okay, so you'll have 8 of those per block with a diagonal line drawn on them. Okay, so we can set those aside, because those we're not going to need until later on. And you're going to take your 4-inch background squares, and you're going to place them in front of you, right side up. And you're going to take one of your medium darks, and this is the 4-inch one, and you're going to place it on the bottom edge, like so. Okay? And then you're going to take your 6-inch block, okay? And you're going to place it on the side. And then you're going to take your 6-inch medium light, and that goes toward the top. And then your 8-inch medium light goes on the other side. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing with a second set of fabrics. Okay, we're going to place our square right side up. Okay, our 4-inch medium dark goes on the bottom. A 6-inch medium dark goes on the side, and I wasn't sure when I was setting this up. I had 2 pieces, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted that one or that one. I think probably this one, because it's more the same degree of darkness that one is. And then your 6-inch medium light and your 6-inch light. Okay, now on here, I've got the same thing here and here. So what I did when I had my medium light fabric out of my 2.5-inch strip, I just cut 1/8, 1/6, and 1/8 and 1/6. But they could be different fabrics as long as they're medium light.
This is like a beginning of a log cabin.
It's exactly like the beginning of a log cabin. Exactly. That's all I could think when I was doing it is this is like a log cabin, except for once you get this done, you stop. You don't keep on going, but it is the same technique. So what I'm going to do, and I always make, when I'm doing something like this, I always make one block first. Okay, and you could chain all 4, but sometimes you make a mistake setting things up. Okay, or you make a mistake with your choice of fabric selection and you might not like what it looks like. So I usually do one block first. If I like the way that it's going, then I will chain piece the other 3. Okay, but now I've got 2 that I can chain piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 4-inch block. And I do that on the bottom edge. And we're just going to sew a 1/4-inch seam. Okay. Now on this, I didn't feel like I had to pin anything. If you are more comfortable pinning, please by all means pin. We broke our thread right away. Good morning, Katie. Uh-oh. Now it got stuck in, and it did that the other day. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or anything you want to talk about while I get my thread unstuck? Nothing? Anybody going to do anything fun this weekend?
Celebrate Father's Day.
Okay, what you doing for Father's Day?
We're going to our daughters and celebrate with our 2 son-in-laws and the 2 fathers, my son-in-law's father and Richard. So
that's nice.
Yeah, and dance recital tomorrow night. So
perfect.
Yeah.
It was graduation. Yeah, didn't you have some sort of
prom? Prom was yesterday.
That was it.
Yeah, it was good. Today they're supposed to go to the beach. I don't know about a beach day, so but yeah, they had a good time at the prom, and it wasn't really a prom, Barb. It was called a dinner. It's a prom, but a dinner. They weren't allowed to bring anybody but a senior. So if you're dating somebody from outside of Lancaster High School or
a junior or somebody,
junior or sophomore, you couldn't bring them. So he went with a bunch of friends, and they play in the Carnival Kids Steel Drum Band.
Mm-hmm.
And so they all went together, had a limo. It was nice, you know. So how about you guys?
Got no plans.
No?
No.
They're kind of up in the air yet. I said we could, do whatever he wanted to do during the day, seeing as how it was Father's Day. And then probably we're planning on having the kids over for a barbecue at night.
Nice.
So that'll be nice. And it looks like the weather's going to cooperate.
Yeah.
Which will be good. Unlike, I just feel so sorry for them to have planned to go to the beach today, and we had so many days that were such good beach weather.
Yep. Mhm. They'll find something. I don't know what they'll do, but still
They'll
not
have fun.
feeling here. So
We'll figure out something.
yeah.
They always do.
the boys went golfing yesterday morning. It was almost like a pre-wedding. It was, you know, how the guys go golfing before the wedding.
Right.
So.
Oh, good. It's good that they're having fun and they're able to do those things.
Oh, absolutely. At least they got together.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so I added my 4-inch block, and then I'm going to press this open, okay, toward the 4-inch block.
Okay.
Like that. Okay. Now I've really gotten into the habit of using my fabric folding pen, because to get up all the time here and go to the ironing board is not the most convenient, because they keep kind of shoving us further and further back in the corner, and it's harder to get out. So what I've been using is my fabric folding pen and running it along the line of stitching, and then you're able to press this upward, and you get a really nice crease in that. And then I don't do any pressing on the ironing surface until I'm completely finished. Okay, so then I take my blocks and I turn them a quarter turn to the left so that I'm working on the top. And I'm going to add the other medium dark, and it'll fit right on there. Wrong one. This one on here. And this one on here. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to repeat what I did, is just sew them on with a 1/4 inch seam. This is one of those where the seam, when you're sewing, this underseam is going away from you. So if you see like a bubble in your fabric, that means that that seam is trying to lift up and go the opposite way. So usually I'll just pick my presser foot up, put my finger under there, and push it up the way it's supposed to go. Just forgets what it's supposed to be doing. I got my 2 pieces. Okay, and do the same thing as you're going to press those up and away from the center block and toward the strip that you're adding. Upward, so. One up. Okay, then we're going to turn it that 1/4 turn again. Okay, and we're going to add our first medium light. That's the 6-inch one. And sew those on with the 1/4 inch seam. Pretty easy so far. This is another one of those blocks that you could change the size if you needed to. Okay, if you're using 2.5-inch strips, when you go around cutting your strips that go on the center block, the first one is the same size as the block. The second and the third ones are 2 inches larger than the block. And the last one is 4 inches larger than the block. Because after you get your 2.5-inch strip cut down, it's used in the block that you're eliminating those 2/4 inches for seams. So you're ending up with 2 inches when it's sewn in. So again, turn it 1/4 of a turn, and then your last one will go on the empty edge there. Press that last one up. And now I've got all my 4 pieces sewn on. Now I'm going to get up and go to the ironing surface and then give it a good press with the iron.
Kitty's here again.
You guys there? There he is. There he is.
Staring right into the screen.
Yeah, he likes to come to class.
He does.
Yes, he does. Always.
He's coming to my yoga class now.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. There you go. So that's what the blocks look like now. Okay. And if we want to kind of make them the same, there they go. Okay. So now we're going to take our 2.5-inch squares that we've drawn our diagonal line on, and we're going to place them on these blocks, and that's why it's called the snowball star. And when you place them, they're going to go between a dark and a light. Okay, they're not going to go in the corners where there's 2 darks or 2 lights. They're going in the corners where a dark meets a light. And it goes with the diagonal line pointing to the light and the dark, not pointing to the center square. Going to go in the corner just like that. Okay, and then one is going to go up here between the dark and the light. Like that. Okay, and one down here between the dark and the light. And the one up in here. Like that. Okay, we're just going to sew on that line now. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to chain them through what I'd like to do, and I can move the camera so that you can see. And so that I don't always have to stop and cut my threads, it's easier. It's when you have a lot of pieces that you can chain through, but sometimes you only have 1 or 2. So what I do is place this one on and sew. Okay, and then take my second block. Okay, and this is chain piecing when you feed one through right after another. Remember, I think we talked about the last time, instead of feeding it through the same way, in the same position like that, because it's the bulk is all over on the left-hand side. If you take this one and turn it so that the bulk of your block is on the right-hand side, then this one feeds in a lot nicer. Okay, because I don't know whether you can see right here, there's just a little space, but the fabrics are not overlapping. And just sew through this one. Okay, now if I've only got 2 blocks, there's nothing more to chain. So what I'll do is I'll go behind here and cut the first block off and pick up my piece, and then I can chain this one right through like it was a whole nother block. That on, and then feed this one in. It's like chain piecing with a twist. Okay, and then cut the second block off. And then feed that one through. Okay. Come back over here. Where's my focus? Focus, okay. Got my blocks. I cut the long thread off. Cut those. And then you're going to press these corners up and away from the block, like so. Okay. One, that one, and the other 2. And again, if you've got your pen, it makes it, not only lets you not press with an iron in between times, but when you do press, your pressing gets a lot crisper. It's already laying down really flat. You can see this one from finger pressing, it wants to fly up, and this one stays down. Do this one.
Stuff get alongside the edge of your ruler?
I do. I put my ruler right on that seam line, and then just take the felt tip and run it right along the edge of the ruler, and then just push it upward. And
Does it build up on the edge of your ruler?
it does not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's in there, but there's nothing. I've been using this for a few days now. There's really nothing there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to press these. And I need to put their blocks together. There's my 2 blocks. And then I'm going to go in and trim off the excess. And there are my other 2 blocks. Okay, now when you put together the original one, the dark fabrics went toward the center of the block, and the light ones went toward the outside of the block. And that's where you got this dark star in the middle. Okay, on this one, the light fabrics go toward the center. I'm just going to put those 2 blocks like so, and move this up, so that'll do. And okay, and then my other 2 lights, I'm going to go toward the center. Like so. Okay, so far? All right, and then we're going to sew these 2 together, and these 2 together, and to get them so that these points match up. Okay, so like so that those points match up, what I'm going to do is take my block, because we're going to sew this edge. Okay, so I'll take this, and this is fine. There's nothing on this part to match up. What we want to match up is the white triangles down at this end. Okay, so on here, what you need to do is on your alternate blocks, instead of pressing the seam toward the white, you need to press the seam toward the block instead. Okay, so these 2 I am going to leave with the seam pressed toward the outside edge, and these 2 I'm going to take back to the ironing surface, and I'm going to take and I'm going to press this seam in toward the block, so that when I put these together, my seams will be opposing seams. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 of the blocks, the ones in the opposite diagonal corners, and we're just going to take that seam, and instead of having it pressed toward the snowball piece, background piece, we're going to press it in toward the block. Okay. We're going to come back, and we're going to put them with the lights toward the center. Okay, now when I come over to do this, now these 2 seams are opposing. One's going the one way, one's going the opposite way. And I'm going to pick this part up, make sure my seams are lining up, put it back down. Okay, pinch those seams together, put a pin in there. Okay, now you can put pins along the other ways if you want to, if that helps you. Okay, you can put a pin in where you're going to start, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, make sure first, because there's nothing to match down here. This is where we need to match it. Make sure that those seams are matching up. And for the most part, if you do this, you can see it. Okay, some people, you can feel it, that there's no lump in there. But if after you get it down, you're not sure, just take a pin and put it down straight through that line of stitching, and it should come through with your line of stitching on the back. Okay, if it doesn't, then move it a little bit, whichever way it's meant to go, and try it again. But you got to put it straight down. You can't put it through at an angle. Okay, now that you have it, just keep it pinched together like that, and put your pin in, and then again, if you want to, you can put a pin down at this end just to hold it. Okay, and we're going to sew, okay, our seams, a 1/4 inch seam. And when you get both of those sewn, take your pins out. You can check, make sure your points are going to match up. Like so, and then we're going to press one of these seams to one way and press the other seam going the opposite way. So again, that we have opposing seams when we want to put this together. There's half, there's the other half. Okay, and then we're going to join this so all of our lights are in the center. Okay, and all of our triangles are on the outside edges. And now we have 3 things to match up. We have our center seam to match up. We have the white snowball block here and the white snowball block here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the snowball block and just bend it back. Make sure that those are matching up. Bring it up. Again, if you're not sure, put a pin straight through. And it's coming out exactly in the seam. As long as it's doing that, then you can pin that to hold it. Okay. And then I'm going to go down and do the other snowball block because the middle is the easiest to get to match up. Okay, because these are on an angle. Okay, once those are matched up, again, check if you want by putting a pin through. Come out right in the seam. Okay, we put a pin in there. And then we can go into the middle and match that center one up. Okay, and put a pin there. Okay, and then we're just going to sew our 1/4 inch seam across there. Put our blocks together. remember when you put those pins in, that when you're sewing, don't take the pins out until your needle gets past that seam. You want to use that pin to lock it in place until the thread can do it. Then you can take your pins out. Open this up, and now that's what your block looks like. Okay, so that is the B block, and then it would go alternating, or you could do all one or all of another in a quilt, it wouldn't matter, and then it would alternate with it's going to look like that. And it's a great lesson in how you can have the same exact pattern and have two blocks look so completely different. Okay, so it's a lesson in playing with fabrics. Okay, because whatever way you did this, your block would look totally different. Now, you would look at that. I would look at that in the book, and I would think they were two completely different blocks. Okay, but they're not. They're both constructed the same way. It's just the difference of the lights and the darks. Okay, anybody have any questions?
No, very nice.
Very cool.
Beautiful.
Good. It was fun. I think all of these blocks are fun. I just have been having a ball with this. I hope you have too. It's just every month it's just playing with something new, which is kind of neat. Rather than doing the same block over and over and over again, which makes a really nice quilt. But this is a lot more fun when there's so many things out there that you want to do. It just gives you a chance to do something new every month. So hopefully, again, that you like it as much as I do. Anybody have any questions?
No.
No?
No, that's great.
Connie.
Well, you all know how to get in touch with me if you do. Again, for those of you that don't know, this recording probably will not go out this afternoon. They've been going out the next morning. Just because we don't have Sydney anymore to send them out immediately. It's the job has fallen to Alyssa now on top of all the other things that she needs to do. So she said, they might not always go out the same day. So look for it. You can look for it, but look for it the next morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Thanks again, Diane.
Well, thank you guys, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will see everybody soon. If not, in the meantime, I'll see you next month. It will be the 23rd next month, I think. I think it's July. Hang on just a minute.
That's a Friday, yeah.
I think it's the 23rd.
Okay.
July 23rd. Okay, so if not, if I don't see you before, I'll see you then.
Wish David a happy Father's Day.
I will. You do the same for Richard, okay?
Okay, thanks, Di. Bye, lady.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I can find a guy.